more and more new artists, not exploding artists, you know, artists that don't have a big hit yet, getting placements in TV shows and so forth. Speak to that if you would. Well, because I think that's who we're talking to here.
Yeah,
today.
well, for sure we are. I mean, part of that goes back to my original point that there's more room now for music than there ever has been before in TV shows. Like, there's more channels on TV than there ever were before. There's just more of everything. So there's more opportunity, which is great because it creates jobs for people like me, and it creates the ability to get more music in these than there ever were before. So you've still got the big ones out there that they're dropping, you know, 300, 500, you know, Led Zeppelin's up in the game now. You've got, you know, you've got all these big bands where they're dropping major cash for these. That's still out there, but the budgets have shrunk, and so you've got now also high quality bands that that may not be known, that have the ability to sort of wiggle their way in. And the music supervisors, as you guys have probably heard before, your viewers are the new A&R guys. You know, what used to be at labels. So they want to be in touch and online and figuring out who the new breaking, buzzing bands are. They'll grab them for lower, you know, less money because they're not big yet. And then boom, 6 month Lumineers. You know, if you pull open Billboard from last couple weeks ago, there's a huge, great article on how that band blew up in a year.
From a manager's point of view, I'll tell you that for folks out there that are just starting out and you're trying to get a notice, it's so important to find a vehicle to do that. And as we talked about one day, we had a whole lesson on that Jake's heard before about yeses and nos. Earlier in your career, you got to be a little more yes-oriented, and sometimes that means taking a little bit less dough so that you can build something.
Well, and you remember I was managing bands too, and my first stop would always be going into the licensing world for two reasons. One, for exposure, because you're helping to build the resume so you can start knocking out all these bullet points on your website about all these different shows you've been on. And two, it's a direct source of income, which then starts funding other things, like touring, like recording, whatever. So it's always my first stop. That's why I got to know these music soups pretty early on.